I'm Dave Greenwood, and this is Overcoming Distractions. If you are an adult with ADHD, a busy professional, an entrepreneur, a high achiever, or just need some strategies to navigate your adult ADHD, you're in the right place. Who am I? I'm an entrepreneur with ADHD and the author of 2 books, Overcoming Distractions and Overcoming Burnout. I coach and mentor people just like you, and together we navigate the ups and downs of adult ADHD. From getting out of our own way to helping people just like you thrive in the workplace. That's what I do. Want more info on working with me? Hit overcomingdistractions.com. Ready? Let's get to today's podcast. All right, gang, it's Dave, and I want to welcome you back. And I just want to say what is going on today. Hopefully some good stuff. Hopefully some positive stuff. You're getting stuff done. You're feeling good about the week you just had. Maybe not. Maybe that's why you're here. And that's why I'm here, to kind of help you through that, through the lens of an ADHD entrepreneur like myself. So if you are the same, you're an entrepreneur, solopreneur, you're a busy professional, high achiever, you could be in the C-suite, you could own a business, wherever you are, and you're just a little distracted, maybe you're a lot distracted, and you're having trouble getting stuff done, or you just can't get out of your own way, you're in the right place. So, all right. Hey, as you may know, my last book was called Overcoming Burnout. I put a lot of personal thought and experiences in that, and I also told the stories of many other people who experienced burnout to some degree. I have done some podcasts over the past year or so about burnout, and when I look at these podcasts, I see that a lot of people do listen to them. So that tells me at a basic level that this is something that us adults with ADHD are dealing with, and we may be dealing with it more. So I want to talk about some of the small steps that you can take when you're an adult with ADHD and you're feeling burned out. You could be maybe at the beginning stages and you're beginning to see the signs of burnout or feel the signs of burnout, or you could just get to a point where you're having trouble getting out of bed and you're exhausted every day and you're resentful and cynical and pissed off and everything else. So when I wrote Overcoming Burnout, I wanted to give readers right at the beginning a few things that they could implement just to start the process of reducing burnout. And I think a lot of self-help books, quote unquote, they take a few chapters to really get into some solid advice. And I wanted to tackle a few areas right up front. Some of these books, they cite industry statistics and surveys and blah, 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 and, 73.2% of blah, blah, blah. And that is just not what we're looking for when we're feeling this way. That's not the book I wrote. Overcoming Burnout, I like to say, is a street smart approach to addressing burnout, and it gets right to work, hopefully, in helping you if you're feeling burned out. Burnout can be ugly for many, and especially those of us with ADHD, we might experience it to a whole nother level. And we've talked about that in previous podcasts, about how our executive functions only contribute to our experience with burnout. That's why getting a few quick things moving in your life to make yourself feel even a little better was super important to me, and that's what we did. So I want to point out that recovering from true burnout doesn't just happen quickly. So while I put some quick pieces of advice, which I'm going to go over in a minute, at the beginning of the book, it doesn't solve the entire problem. It just gets the ball rolling. You're feeling burned out because of circumstances that have built up over time, and it's just not going to go away by snapping your fingers. So we need to understand that. I also want to make an important distinction as well, because if you hop on social media, you may be getting a skewed view of burnout. And there's a big difference between just being tired and maybe needing a vacation and legitimate burnout. And all too often I see people trying to capitalize on this kind of burnout hashtag so they can get some likes and what have you, by creating these posts saying that, oh, I went away for a long weekend and I had this really glamorous picture I put in, and all of a sudden they felt better. So is the long weekend a start? Absolutely. But that alone is not going to resolve, your burnout, especially if you are a busy professional with ADHD and constantly feeling exhausted. So let's talk about the the 6 things that I address right at the beginning of my book, Overcoming Burnout. And if you're listening, you want to take notes, that's great. These are 6 things. I have a bonus at the end that I think is critically important. So let's dig into it. First, you need to talk with somebody. Burnout only gets worse if you continue to internalize it. And that's why you have to release that pressure valve, so to speak. And one of the best ways to do that is just to talk with somebody. And I think you probably have had this experience before where something's bugging you, and when you just get it out of your system, at least you start to feel better. So number 1 is you just need to get your experience just out to somebody you can trust. It's your decision who you want to talk with, but your spouse, a close friend, maybe a therapist, an ADHD coach, or a mentor, those are all great people to speak with to just externalize this. So I would not choose your boss or somebody at work to be the first person you open up about feeling burned out, but that's just me. So, but I think in the beginning you got to keep your experience with burnout. You need to externalize it, but keep it close to you. And somebody you trust is that person you need to speak with. All right, next, hit the gym. And I know some of you are like, I just don't like the gym. Whatever, just hear me out for a minute, okay? I talk about this in the book, and I'll just reiterate it here. I'm not going to hit you with a bunch of facts and data about the benefits of exercise and movement and all that stuff. All you need to do is spend 5 minutes on Google, and you'll understand that some type of exercise can only benefit you. And if you have ADHD, you should be doing this anyways. But if you're not, go hit the gym. I am confident that there are a handful of gyms around you where you can join for $10 a month. It's a small investment, and it has, I believe, huge payoffs. It has been a game changer for me over the year. You don't have to go and deadlift 450 pounds, or bench press twice your weight. You don't have to do that. And there are different types of gyms. There are gyms with with a bunch of muscle heads in it, and there are more accepting gyms for people of all abilities. So, without naming any names, you can hit the gym, you can hop on the treadmill, you can use the various machines, but please do something. I know you'll feel better. If going to the gym absolutely turns you off, go for a walk, because there you get time, you get quiet time to sort stuff out. Go for a short run. Hit the yoga studio. Do something. you have to get moving and you have to burn off that frustration. So going to the gym, I think, checks a lot of boxes, as they say. Hell, go to a boxing gym. Those are popping up everywhere now. There's franchises popping up. Go punch something. Okay? I mean, that feels awesome. I used to belong to a boxing gym back several years ago, and I got to tell you, I'm a kid with asthma, growing up, as I had to bring my inhaler. So it is a kick-ass workout. So, hell, go to a boxing gym, all right? You can even take martial arts. And I really want to do an episode on martial arts because I think that's something we haven't discussed, and it's, again, something growing up that helped me. So, but anyways, you get the idea. Next, try and sit in a quiet room for 30 minutes. And I get it. Some of you have challenges sitting quietly for more than a few minutes. And I've worked one-on-one with a lot of people who say, I can't do that. All right. I hear you. But I think if you find a quiet room in your home and you try to just sit there for up to 30 minutes, you will begin to chill out, even if it's just a little bit. Maybe turn the lights down. Go to a part of the house that maybe you don't hear the trucks going by or what have you, depending on where you live. Again, you might not like it at first, but I can tell you that you will eventually, I believe, get used to this, and it will be comforting. If you have trouble doing this, one thing I recommend to people is maybe hop on Spotify and go in the search and find like a 5-minute guided meditation. There's like hundreds of them up there. Because if you're ADHD, you might have trouble controlling those thoughts, and they may be all over the place, and you're trying to sit quietly, and maybe you're starting to ruminate on all the things that are pissing you off and making you feel burned out. Even that 5-minute guided meditation, if you're listening to it, some of these are pretty good. So I would recommend that. If you cannot calm your brain and your thoughts down, reducing burnout is only going to get more difficult. So, I've talked about this before. I'll mention it briefly. But when I used to belong to some networking groups and I was running my PR firm, I would have to go into Boston on a regular basis to go to these business networking groups. And some of them were in the heart of Boston. And I would go drive my car all the way down to the bottom level of the parking garage. And I would get there early. And I would actually just shut off the engine and sit in my car. Because when you're, 50 or 100 feet underground, it is super quiet. So, and it was really relaxing. So, and I know I'm strange. I get it. I don't care. That's what worked for me. So, parking garage, quiet room, wherever you go, you got to chill your brain out. Next, I talked about this briefly in the beginning, and it's not the only thing you should do, but try and book a weekend away. Taking that quiet time a step further, I think it's valuable if you can book a weekend away, grab a hotel room. If you can financially do this, it really is important to get away from it just for even a couple days or a long weekend. Maybe put in, if you work for somebody else, put in for that Friday, put in for that Monday, grab something. If you can't do that right this minute, then at least go online and book something for like a few weeks out and just schedule it. I think that'll make you feel good just by knowing that you scheduled it. Get it booked and have something to look forward to. Next, don't bring your laptop. I'm begging you, please. Just set your out-of-office reply. Set those expectations. That's a super small boundary you can set, is by just letting people know that you're out of the office and that you will not be getting back to them until the time indicated in your out-of-office reply. And just go relax. Go sit by the pool. Hang out at a restaurant. Enjoy a good meal. Sleep in a little bit. Take a nap. Just chill out and get away from it all. Hey, bring my book. Hint, Overcoming Burnout. Sitting around the house and stewing isn't going to get you anywhere. And I believe that you need to break up that pattern, even if it's for a weekend. So find a hotel room like an hour and a half from you. Maybe it's by a lake. Maybe if you're on one of the coasts, find something that's close to the beach or something. So, all right, next, you need to start the process of getting better with time management. And I know, I get it. Where the hell do I start is often something I hear from people when we start working together. Time management and energy management is a massive topic. And if I look back, I've probably done a couple dozen episodes on some facet of time management here on overcoming distractions, because there's many ways to attack it. But the fact is, poor time management and energy management is most likely contributing to the way you are feeling. And if you sit down and look at your schedule, you will probably realize that not only is it all over the place, but there is definitely room for improvement. And I can tell you that when I was going through burnout, this was the case. I prided myself on managing my time effectively, but I really found some holes in some other things and habits of managing my days and weeks that could be improved if I just took control. So, because this is such a massive topic, here's just my quick advice to get started. Sit down, look at your calendar, find 1 or 2 chunks of time during the week where you can block it out and not be bothered by other people. And I think that's a small start, but I think it can begin a massive shift in the way you manage your time. One of the many reasons, one of the hundreds of reasons why we might feel burnt out is because, people are interrupting us or we're expending energy on other people. And if you can just sit down and get some focus time and get what you need to get done, I think that goes a long way in starting some small habits of managing your time better. So, again, I get it. I don't want the at me and all that stuff. It's a massive subject, but there are some small things you can do to start. So go check out some of the episodes that we've done here on time management and various, ways of attacking it if you want to dig deeper. So if you are just lost in this area, and I hear that often where I've listened to the podcast, I've done this, I've done that, I'm just lost, I need somebody to help me sort this out. It is a smart idea to work one-on-one with a coach or a mentor that can help you begin the process of sorting this stuff out and sort out the particulars of your given career, your job, your responsibilities, because as we all know, everybody's different. So, all right, next, start testing the word no. I am confident that if you're feeling burned out, you are saying yes to too many things. I know how this works, people, okay? You're saying yes because you have a difficult time saying no. I was one of those people. That can be extra meetings at work. It can be taking on work that you don't necessarily need to do. It can be volunteering for that bake sale, and so on and so on. If you're feeling burned out, you are most likely used to that default yes when you are asked for something. If you're going to reduce that feeling of burnout, you are going to have to not only get good at saying no, but you're going to have to understand your capacity. And that's something that a lot of us don't talk about, but you're most likely feel burned out because you are over capacity and you have committed to too many things. And all the other things we talked about, poor time management, all that. So my advice is just start testing your no with small little asks of your time. That can be as simple as somebody walks into your office to distract you. You can just say, no, not right now, I'm busy. Be polite. Don't need to be rude. That's a really tiny and hopefully non-threatening way to just test the no. No, I'm busy right now. Most people do understand that. Would you like to join us for this meeting? I don't need to be in that meeting, so I'm going to say no. You get the picture. And hopefully you get the point. You need to get better at saying no if you are going to reduce your feelings of burnout. Now, I will just say this. If your boss, if you work for somebody else, if your boss demands something, or your client, say you're an entrepreneur, small business owner, if that person that is paying you demands something, you are going to, and you may suffer the consequences, let's put it that way, for saying no, then you're going to have to analyze that on the fly. Well, we live in the real world, and saying no all the time and saying no to the wrong things is going to, is going to invite consequences. So you need to learn how to balance that. So, all right, this is my bonus, as I talked about, and it is probably just as important, if not more important, than even some of the things that we discussed. You need to make a list of things, situations that you regularly complain about. If there are areas of your work and even your personal life that you continuously complain about, those are burning you out. I guarantee it. And they need to be addressed soon. Regular complaining is an indicator of burnout because those things are constantly pissing you off and they need to be dealt with. If you're lost in the sea of complaining, ask somebody close to you because I'm sure they're getting tired of you complaining about the same things over and over without taking some sort of action. So complaining over and over again about your work or certain situations is a clear indicator of burnout. And again, I will say it again. It is time for you to sit down and make that list of the things you are starting to see that you're complaining about all the time and figure out a way to begin the process of fixing those. That's where you may want to work with somebody, again, a close friend or a coach or a mentor. Burnout is complex. It's different for everybody. If you're on Instagram and you think you're going to solve your burnout, please be careful, as I mentioned, because people burn out for different reasons. And it's, the most common thing we see is that you're overworked. But that's not, that's only the beginning of being burned out. There are so many other reasons, and it's all in. And then you get into if you're a caregiver. So if you're a parent of, you've got kids, or maybe you're at an age where you're looking after your aging parents, those things. That brings burnout to a whole nother level. So just because you continue to work too many hours is only scratching the surface of why you may be feeling burned out, especially if you have ADHD. So if you want to dig into this more, you can just go to Overcoming Distractions. That's my website, same as the title of this podcast. You will find a link to the book right there. It's on Amazon. You can get the paperback. You can get the Kindle version, whatever works for you. And as I always say, if you need more help and you need somebody to chat with and to sort some of this stuff out, you're feeling kind of lost, you don't know what step to take next, I am here. And you can just go right on my homepage, overcomingdistractions.com. You can book a 15-minute call with me. That's on Zoom. We get to know each other, and let's see if we are a good fit, and let's see if I can help you. So, all right, gang. I'll catch you next time. See ya.